Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people seem to build wealth so easily, while the rest of us are working so hard just to keep our heads above water? Well, it turns out the secrets to wealth aren't new at all. In fact, they're ancient. Today, we are diving deep into the timeless financial wisdom from one of the greatest books ever written on the subject, The Richest Man in Babylon.
This is the problem we meet right at the start of the book. You have Banser, a chariot builder, and his good friend Kabai, a musician. And they're living in Babylon, which was literally the wealthiest city in the ancient world. I mean, gold and riches were everywhere. But even though these guys were masters at their jobs and worked incredibly hard, they were broke. Their purses were always empty.
And their problem? It really boils down to a question that's just as real today as it was thousands of years ago, right? Why do so many of us work our tails off, day in and day out, but still struggle to actually get ahead? I mean, that feeling of frustration they had, so many of us know exactly what that feels like.
And here's the thing they realized, and it is so important. They were experts at their jobs, right? Building chariots, playing music, they had that down. But they had never, not once, actually tried to learn the craft of building wealth. They had the skill to earn money, for sure, but they had zero wisdom when it came to making that money grow.
So what do? They make this huge decision. Instead of just complaining or hoping for a lucky break, they decide to go out and actively find the answers. And they go to the one guy who has obviously figured it all out, their old friend Arkad, who started with nothing and became, you guessed it, the richest man in all of Babylon.
So when they get to Arkad, his advice doesn't start with some complicated investment strategy or a hot stock tip. Nope, it all starts with a really simple but incredibly powerful shift in how you think. It's an idea he learned when he was young from a rich moneylender named Algamish. And this right here, this is the foundation for everything else.
And here it is, this one sentence. Arkad says this changed his entire life. A part of all I earned was mine to keep. Just let that sink in for a second. We pay the landlord, we pay for our food, we pay for our clothes. We pay literally everyone else before we even think about paying ourselves. The very first step to wealth is realizing that you are the most important person you need to pay.
Okay, so how much? How much should you keep for yourself? Well, Arkad's mentor gave him a super simple, actionable rule. Save at least 1/10 of every single thing you earn. So, for every 10 coins that come into your purse, you take one out and you put it aside for yourself. And you do this first, before any other bills get paid. It doesn't matter if you earn a lot or a little, the rule is the same.
And Arkad has this amazing way of explaining it. He says that your savings, they aren't just a pile of idle coins, they're seeds. That very first coin you save, no matter how small it feels, that's the seed for a giant tree of wealth that will one day grow so big it'll provide you with all the financial security you need.
Okay, so from that one simple idea, that one little seed, Arkad basically figured out what he calls the 3 fundamental laws of wealth. And he learned them through a lot of trial and error, believe me. But these are the core rules that took him from being a poor scribe to the richest guy in the city.
So, law number 1, we've pretty much already covered it, right? It's the foundation. Pay yourself first. It's all about building that non-negotiable habit of setting aside that first tenth. This is how you even begin to acquire your treasure in the first place.
But, making the money is just the start. Law number 2 is just as critical, maybe even more so. You have to protect it. So many people get the first part right. They save up some money, only to lose it all on a bad decision. And Arkad, well, he learned this lesson the hard way.
He tells this painful story about his first big investment. He was so excited he'd saved for an entire year, and he gave all of it to a guy named Asmore, a brickmaker, who had a great idea to travel and buy rare jewels. Well, what happened? Asmore the brickmaker, who knew absolutely nothing about jewels, got tricked. He came back with a bag of worthless glass. And Arkad's entire savings, poof, gone.
And this is the lesson his mentor hammers home. You have to seek out advice, yes, but only from people who actually know what they're talking about. It's about finding people with real expertise. I mean, taking financial advice on jewels from a brickmaker is just as silly as asking a musician for advice on astronomy.
Okay, so you're saving your money, you're protecting it by getting good advice. Now for law number 3. And this is where the real magic kicks in. This is about making your money start working for you, so that one day you won't have to work so hard for it.
And this is just a brilliant way to explain the power of compounding. Ark says to think of every single coin you save as a golden slave that goes out and works for you. And then every penny that your slave earns is its child, And guess what? You can put that child to work too. And then its children's children. Pretty soon, you have an entire army of money all working around the clock to make you wealthy.
So following those 3 laws is huge, but the book makes it really clear that it's not the whole story. To truly become wealthy, you need to change your mindset. It's about mastering your inner game and shifting from a mentality of scarcity and blame to one of total responsibility and action.
There's this one story in the book that just nails this idea. It's about a guy who realizes that by running away from his debts, he has the soul of a slave. He blames everyone else, he's always looking for an escape. But a person with the soul of a free man? No, they face their enemies head on. They take full responsibility, they respect themselves enough to pay back what they owe, and by doing that, they conquer their problems and win back their freedom.
So what about getting lucky? We tend to think of luck as random, right? Like lightning striking. Well, the Babylonians saw it completely differently. They didn't believe good fortune was an accident. They believed it was something you could actually attract, something you could entice. It wasn't about waiting for a lucky break to fall into your lap, it was about being ready to grab opportunities when they showed up.
And the takeaway here is so simple but so powerful. Procrastination is the great enemy of wealth. The book says opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared. The people we call lucky, they're just the ones who were prepared and who took decisive action when opportunity knocked. They didn't hesitate.
All right, so let's pull all of this ancient wisdom into the present day. We've taken a trip back to ancient Babylon, but these lessons, wow, they are absolutely timeless. These are the fundamental, unshakable rules of personal finance. They worked then, and believe me, they work now.
So, what are the big takeaways for you? Number 1, pay yourself first. Always. Always save at least 1/10 of what you earn. Number 2, seek wise counsel. Don't take advice from just anyone. Find people who are experts. Number 3, make your money work for you. Put every dollar to work so it can earn more. And finally, number 4, be a person of action. Stop procrastinating and grab opportunities when they appear.
Look, there are no complicated spreadsheets or crazy get-rich-quick schemes here. This is just simple, profound wisdom that has lasted for thousands of years, for a reason. The path to building wealth isn't some big secret. It's a discipline. And it's just as available to you and me today as it was to the people living in Babylon all those years ago.
And that really brings us to the final question. See, this book isn't just about giving you information. It's about challenging you to act. The wisdom is now yours. The principles are clear. The opportunity to start applying them is right now. So the only question left is, what are you going to do?